has started off the conference play on a good foot. 1-0 UNLV and 1-0 TCU. Greetings, everybody. Glad to have you with us today on the mountain, along with the coach Bob Donewald. I'm James Bates. Well, the coach actually knows these two coaches very well. Jim Christian and Lon Kruger, two very different personalities, but two great guys, and they both get it done.
Different personalities, but they both teach the game extremely well and relate to young people very, very well. UNLV, a senior-dominated team, been through the wars. TCU, the young kids, new kids, Cinderella team. UNLV, very athletic, utilizes their athleticism very, very well. TCU relies on the system. But one thing I guarantee you, they are together on one thing. They're both winning, and they both, at this point, have got a shot at a league championship.
Well, speaking of relying on something, the UNLV Rebels have really relied on former walk-on Rene Rougeau, the senior. During the 8-game win streak that the Rebels are running right now, he's gone 66% from the floor.
Rougeau, if you think about it, is one of those young men that creates offense, defense, whatever he needs to do to help his team. He's one of the league leaders in block shots, field goal shooting, steals, rebounds, and he also gets the ball to the basket in a hurry.
This is a new look team for TCU. A lot of guys that weren't there in the last time these two teams met, in a great one in the Mountain West Conference Tournament last year in Las Vegas. UNLV won that one. They've got some new faces, and one of them is Zvonko Bullion. Zvonko Bullion has gone 7 of the last 9 games in double digits for TCU.
He's playing better than anybody else on this TCU team. At 6'9", he can catch and knock down the three, drive it to the basket, and he's also scoring around the basket.
Well, scoring around the basket and from way out. Wink Adams. Now, we started the season cold, but against Arizona had 25 points, hit 6 straight threes, but has missed the last few games because of an ab injury. He's 100%, they say. They'll need him today against the Frogs.
Hello, Rebel fans. NCAA football is all about great tradition, big rivalries, and exciting action. Be a role model. Cheer loudly and proudly, but do it with class. Show respect to your fellow fans, players, and game officials. Keep it fun, keep it safe, and enjoy the game. The Mountain West Conference and NCAA football, thank you for your support.
Catch all your favorite Mountain West Conference action on our trio of networks, including The Mountain, CBS College Sports, and Versus. Get hundreds of games, in-depth analysis, and coverage of all Mountain West Conference championships. The Mountain West Conference Networks, your place to catch all the action.
Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death in the United States. It's a national tragedy, killing thousands each year, leaving behind devastated families. Cigarette smoking causes most cases of lung cancer. If you or a loved one smoke, get the help you need to quit now. The American Legacy Foundation and the National Association of Broadcasters want to help. Visit their website to learn more.
College basketball on the Mountain is brought to you by Dodge. See the all-new 2009 Dodge Ram Crew Cab 1500 at your Dodge dealer. By Sinclair Oil, we're about as American as it gets. And brought to you by Sonic's new Everyday Value menu. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. Well, 11-1. The all-time record between the UNLV Running Rebels and the TCU Horned Frogs. Welcome back, everybody, to Fort Worth, Texas, where the Frogs have started off 10-5 this season. 1-0 in conference play, beating Colorado State in the opener, then traveling to Lubbock and beating a Texas Tech team up in the panhandle of Texas. And boy, this would be a big one here, Coach, if they could sneak one away from the preseason favorite in the conference, the Running Rebels. Rougeau and Langford to get it going. Langford back to Eby, and we're underway. Keon Mitchum went airborne and gets it off to Bullion. Offensive board and the putback, Ruskas.
Ruskas just slid underneath and found the ball and put it back in. Really good offensive, aggressive play by him.
Here's Rougeau slicing his way through the lane, and just too easy for the first bucket of the night for UNLV.
If UNLV can get to the middle of the lane, that spells big problems for TCU. They got to keep them out of that lane, because that's exactly what UNLV likes to do.
Defensively, that's exactly what a Jim Christian team prides itself in. Defending that bucket. Here's Langford. Tend to shoot for the Frogs, and over and back will be called here, so a turnover. Early, ball will go to the running Rebels.
Ruskas took his eye off the ball and it just went through. I think his mind was made up. He was going to shoot the ball, and he started to eye the rim. Got to stay away from those kind of turnovers, though.
There's Trevon Willis, led the Rebels with 15 points in the win against New Mexico. 60-58, a close one. Closer than the Rebels would have liked in the conference opener. Glad to have Wink Adams back out there. Wink played against New Mexico, but he wasn't quite Wink Adams. Coach, they've had a week off to rest, and especially for Wink Adams to rest, the senior. 3-try, Willis got it.
Good drive to the middle by Wink, and that's exactly where he likes to go, to that left hand. Defense, help, pitch, shot, 3.
And number 1 looks to be moving all right for UNLV.
Oh, yeah. I watched him today in the shoot-around, and I think he's fine. And Coach Kruger said he thought he was 100%.
Here's Langford. And just out manning Rougeau there, as you don't see Rene Rougeau standing flat-footed many times in the paint. But 2 points for TCU. Our starting lineup's brought to you by Sinclair Oil. We're about as American as it gets. There's the UNLV starting 5, a smaller crew, and Joe Darger, they need him to hit some of those mid-range jumpers against that stingy TCU defense. May open up a lot of those opportunities, but they need the Snow Dagger to heat back up. Here's Oscar Belfield with the rock.
Coach Kruger thinks he's a better team when he's small, James, and so he just decided to start that way. He hasn't been doing that.
Belfield, how about that penetration and a nice feed to Rene Rougeau. 2 more and he'll head to the stripe. Let's take a peek at those Horned Frogs for Jim Christian. We told you about Zvonko Bullion, Jason Eby, the point guard out of Houston, Texas. Keon Mitchum is making his 12th straight start. Mitchum has really started to fire. Jim Christian said he was a shooter coach that wasn't shooting. Now that he's got his confidence, he's really, really coming up strong.
And that's a big, big part of the whole thing, is just getting confidence and getting comfortable with the whole situation. But Eby's got to play well for him, James, if they're going to have a chance to win, because he controls it. When he plays well, TCU plays well. Lane violation. Going to shoot it again.
So Rougeau will get another stab at the 3-point play. And he makes that one count, so it's 8-4. And Rougeau has an early 5. Free throws were hit at Louisville in the big upset win on the road for the Runnin' Rebels, but not many free throws made against New Mexico. They missed 5 big ones late in the game, allowing the Lobos to hang around. Here's Eby, look at him work. Trying to feed the big man Langford. They'll go back out to Ruskas. Ruskas for 3.
He can do that. He's a 39% three-point shooter, and we talked about in pregame, hey, if he's on, big plus.
Belfield, too strong. Darger keeps it alive. Fresh shot clock.
Smart tip, wasn't it? Tipped it out, couldn't get a hold of it, but he tipped it out to his teammates.
Darger 3-try. That one again too strong, and another offensive board as hustling over. This time is Willis. Here comes Adams into the lane. He's fouled. And Wink will shoot 2.
Bullion had his hands on it and should have come up with it. Good feed back out on top, and as I said, he's been doing that, hasn't he? We talked about that in pregame. He's been knocking those down, but you saw the trap, the defense collapse, out to the shooter, bingo.
Bruce gets 24 points, a career high 5 3-pointers in the win over Texas Tech. 85-80 was the final as Jim Christian's squad goes a win in conference play, then steps out of conference to go play the Red Raiders.
And that's something a coach doesn't usually like to do, but they had success, and I think for his team, although he lost some preparation time, I think for his team it was a big, big plus.
He also told his coach that he doesn't like taking the big lulls. They had an 11-day break and came back and played terribly. An 8-day break, came back and had the worst first half of the season. There's Keon Mitchell, big three.
Hello, 48% three-point shooter, but the defense collapsed, and he had plenty of room, and he just stroked it.
Mitchum out of Rochester, New York.
See a lot of switching by TCU on those dribble screens.
Darger tries it other side of the three-point line, and same result, too strong, 0 for 2 for Joe. Frogs on a 6-0 run. Tuffy Moss almost lost it. There's Bullion to save it across the lane, and Rougeau with the rebound.
Good drive to the middle, and he avoided the charge, but he didn't really have good balance to shoot the thing.
Big O, Oscar Belfield for 3. The freshman out of Los Angeles.
You know, those 2 point guards are going to be interesting. That's a really good matchup between Evie and Belfield, and whichever one is on, again, that's a big plus for their particular team. Now you'll see Langford come out. Now he'll dive back down in.
And Bullion, another 3 of 4 now for the Horned Frogs.
He's got room to shoot. I'm surprised that the UNLV defense is giving him enough room based upon what he's been doing recently. Boy, has he got a nice stroke. And switching, how about that? You got your big man on the point guard. But that is an attempt to keep them out of the middle.
That's just what happened at Louisville. Big man on Belfield. He made him pay as he hit the game winner. But Darger can't buy a bucket. It's been the story of his senior season. He's had a little bit of trouble. Big three-point shooter. He's now shot 103 times behind the hump this year. Langford, turnaround jumper, good looking.
I tell you what, he was smart because he held it, made sure he was open. They didn't double, and he's dynamite down there.